If this is indeed the end of an era, or at least the end for a few decorated U.S. women's national team stars, it at least concludes with a medal and some style points. The U.S. captured Olympic bronze for the first time on Thursday, rediscovering the joy that Megan Rapinoe and others suggested had been lost following a semifinal defeat to Canada. A 4-3 win over Australia in Kashima, where the dreams of gold were shattered just days ago, and where the US and Australia had played to a drab 0-0 draw days prior to that to close group play, secured a third-place finish and saved some face to conclude what was ultimately a disappointing trip to Japan. Third-place games have a tendency of going haywire, with the stakes not entirely their highest and teams allowed to play freely due to a lack of repercussion. That's not to downplay the meaning of an Olympic bronze medal, especially to Australia, which has still never medaled in women's soccer, but there's a different vibe and a different kind of pressure that encompasses these types of games, and that stayed true here. For the second time in her career, Rapinoe scored on an Olimpico, directly from a corner kick, at the Olympics. The first came in her first games, in the 2012 semifinals versus Canada, so this offered a bookend of sorts for what is expected to be her last go-around on this stage. Grace Hollars' USA Today SportsWhat also appeared to be a symbolic and appropriate ending was enjoyed by Carli Lloyd, who matched Rapinoe with a pair of goals on what should be her last go-around as well. Lloyd has been sure to check anybody who prematurely calls it a career for her before she can, but at 39, she was the USWNT's oldest Olympian ever and would be hitting Formiga territory should she continue. Nevertheless, Thursday was a momentous one for her. She earned her 312th cap, taking sole possession of second place on international soccer's all-time list. US legend Kristine Lilly tops the list at an astounding 354, and her 2 goals made her both the first USWNT player to score at 4 Olympics and the US's all-time leading Olympic scorer with 10 goals. "The way you saw us come out and play, that was the US mentality," Lloyd said following the match, while also conceding that she is, at the tail end, of her career. The bronze medal for the USWNT follows 4 golds, a silver and a quarterfinal elimination in Olympic play, and it at least allows the US to go home with something for its troubles. It's not the gold its players demand of themselves, but there must have been a relief of sorts to regain the swagger and carefree and aggressive approach that has defined the modern era for this team. After the semifinal defeat to Canada, though, the tone surrounding the team had shifted, and there's no denying that some semblance of change is on the way. That had to be expected given the makeup of this 22-player roster.